Okay, my name is Oludipe Oyin Samuel. I attended nursery school at Ekpe, Lagos, at a very momentous school named Topaz Caris. Yeah, and from there I proceeded to attain my secondary education at Elboza Model College at the same town, Ekpe, Lagos. And then in the year 2011, I gained admission into Babcock University to study mass communication, where after 4 years of rigorous and intense holistic study, as we put it, I graduated with a BSc in mass communication to round up the very first rung of my education as a young adult. Oh well, I wanted to communicate to a mass, or to the masses. That was the fundamental idea behind studying mass comm. But at the back of it was the very selfish desire to rule the world. I wanted to rule the world. And now you might ask, how do you rule the world by studying mass communication? Yeah, it's very simple. There is something called the mass media, and while I was in secondary school, I studied the influence of the mass media, the power of the mass media. And what I got to understand was that the center of the gravity of influence in modern world, and not just modern world, in pre-modern world, has always centered ultimately around mass media. Platforms by which information can be disseminated to a large heterogeneous audience. And most of these platforms have shaped thinking in the past. They are guided conversations, they are set trends, interrupted trends, and even interpreted civilizations. Look at what books did in the Middle Ages in Europe, to the masses of Europe. How Martin Luther was able to use the print medium to revolutionize Rome and the entire world, and how that has given birth to capitalism, to industrialization, like books were involved. And not just then, till today, the mass media is an embodiment of influence. And as a young student, my goal was to move nearer to that core of influence, to understand the dynamics of the mass media. And so when I chose mass communication on my post-exam board, what I had in mind was to be Hitler of some sort. Because I'm a man of ideas, and I figured that if my ideas would see the light of day, not just the light of day, the broad universal light of day, I would need to understand how to push those ideas on mass media, internet, books, TV, radio, the likes. These are portals of influence. So yeah, so it wasn't, when I say Hitler, it's a question of what kind of Hitler you turn out to be, depending on what idea you want to spread, because Hitler was one of the most influential persons, in my opinion. Yeah, he was a tyrant, he was a murderous imbecile, yes, but at the same time, if Hitler had been a preacher, imagine what kind of Hitler we'll be talking about today. So at the end of the day, communication is important, it's powerful in changing minds, and I am interested in changing minds, so I chose mass communication for that reason, to be the benevolent kind of Hitler. Anyone should study mass communication because they are a human being and they are a social animal. And what makes an animal social in an instance is that animal's ability to coexist. And coexistence is highly dependent on communication. That reason alone is quite fundamental. Study mass communication because you wish to coexist optimally through communication. Study mass communication because at some point in your life, either as a child, a young adult, or an adult who has a child who has to coexist in a society, you will at one point in your life have an idea, an ideal which you would love to communicate or persuade others, to strive towards. And mass communication will help you achieve that aim. For me, life cannot be lived in isolation. And what mass communication will help you do or achieve as a human being is being able to survive in a network of numerous lives. Well, that's too hasty generalization to assert that also mass communication is not serious. I mean, what would you say about Richard Quest of CNN? Doesn't look like a serious fellow. Or let's even leave mass communication, the field of mass communication. Look at great individuals in different fields. Say people like Michelangelo, for instance, one of the greatest painters of Renaissance Italy. Of course, there is also the fallacious thinking that all artists tend to be obscure. They tend to die in penury or poverty. But Michelangelo was one of the richest individuals who ever lived on earth, and he was an artist. So to debunk that stereotypical thinking that all mass communication students are serious, or the fact that you study communication makes you an unserious fellow, it's as simple as that. It's a case of individuals who have chosen to be unserious, to not be diligent in their fields, in their professions, to not put into practice what they've been taught in the most sublime of ways. So what I would have to say to people who want to study mass communication is that communication actually requires a lot. It demands that you embody certain serious human values, like open-mindedness, like curiosity, like adventurousness, like inventiveness, humanity. These are qualities that are embodied by presenters worldwide, by advertisers, by content creators, by editors, and which all represent the field called mass communication. So at the end of the day, it's your individual resolve to make the best of whatever field you find yourself in. Mass communication is no different. I'd say, I'd mention one. I went out of my way to gather knowledge that I did not get in class. When I was on undergrad level, I did something. I decided that I will spend 1 hour every day in the library after my entire official day as a student in school. And no matter how stressful it was my resolve to, after every day, after each day in class, it doesn't matter whether I was done 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I would find my way out, crawl sometimes to the library, and the strategy was to just go to the catalog, the book catalog, close my eyes and just pick a random title of a book. And then I focus on that book for 30 minutes to 1 hour, just to a random page, just open to a random page and read. Just read whatever I saw there, internalize and, ingest. I did that for a semester, and believe you me, I became transformed in my views of what knowledge really is. And that's the mistake a lot of students make, and especially as a mass communication student, you're supposed to know a bit about everything. I'm sure this is a very popular saying, but a lot of people don't practicalize it, and that was what I first practicalized, and I found that it really helped me in my tests, in my exams, even in my answering questions in class. I had extra perspectives. I had views that were not mundane, and that really helped me to, say, impress my lecturers and also grant me extra scores. And so that much I remember I did differently. But of course, the normal reading, studying, attending classes, getting to class on time, sitting in the front row so you listen well to the lecturer, making friends with lecturers, so that you get new perspectives from them. Perspectives which might elude them while they're lecturing. Make mentors of my seniors. While I was on undergrad level, I had friends in final year who already, were narrating to me what it means to be a final year student. So I was thinking like them in some ways. My attitude to assignments was that in fact, there was a point in 200 level where I never let my assignments skip 2 days, without being done. Like when I get an assignment now, I make sure I finish it today or tomorrow. You know, so all of this, it's a motley of a lot of initiatives, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all about focus and putting the best in everything you do every day, and just pray that it adds up when you eventually get your certificate and you say first class. So, they are bound actually. Now, what you should do is mass communication as a course of study, as an academic field, is divided into several arms. We have journalism, we have broadcasting, then we have broadcast journalism, which is quite new. We have advertising and marketing, we have public relations, we have film and cinematography, we have book publishing. So you see these 5 arms, which are in themselves broad and multifaceted, have career paths, all over the place around them. Okay, let me start from advertising, which was my own specialization while I was in school. In advertising, you could become a copywriter in an agency, advertising agencies. You could be a copywriter, an art director, a creative director. These are the creatives in charge of churning out advertisements for products and brands. You could also be a client service personnel. In broadcasting, of course, you could be a presenter, you could be a reporter, you could be a staff writer, you could be a consultant, generally, a media consultant. Even in production, you could be a producer in studios, a sound engineer, book publishing, be a publisher, be an editor, be a proofreader, in film, be a scriptwriter, a screen editor, be a marketer. Taking it back to advertising now. In public relations, be an event manager, be a researcher, be a client service personnel, like I said. Coming back to advertising now, be a graphics designer. They're all about there. They're all about. And the funny thing is, most of these roles are conflicting now in today's industry. Say for instance, in advertising, you have or journalism. You could either be a photojournalist, yeah, or a journalist, a reporter, strictly in those days. But now we have a lot of journalists who are also photojournalists. They go to their beats and report stories with their cameras. So they take the pictures and then they write the reports. And most of them, sometimes the same journalists also, cast the news. You understand? Some of them do syndicate television. So a lot of these roles are conflicting, and in mass communication, that's how it is. You have to be a master of all trades in some instance. Say for instance, like I am now, I'm a copywriter. At the same time, I do editing. I do research, market research. I do a bit of graphics design, and I'm even planning on getting a camera, so I'll become a photographer and somehow broaden my skill set. So a lot of career paths abound, rather than just being a TV person or a radio OAP. I've mentioned some of them. Okay, I had a lot of memorable moments in school because I was everywhere. But one endures above the rest. And that was a very ordinary day when a student approached me in my chapel on campus. The boy in question, the young man in question, had a disability and was always avoided by a lot of people. So he approached me this particular night and complained to me, almost in tears, that he was on his research project and his lecturers had not given him attention, or neither of his students or his friends, because he had none, apparently. And then immediately, I decided I was going to help him. I told him out of my busy schedule, he should shoot me a mail and I would figure out a way to help him solve the challenge. So he did send me a mail that night, and by God's grace, I was able to, propose solutions. shot him back a mail, and he was very happy. He sent me a mail, flowing with encomiums and appreciations and emojis. And he was very happy and fulfilled, and I was happy too. And then a week later, because he was my church member, it was announced that he had died. He had passed away. It was a very short moment for me, but at the same time, I still look back to that mail till today and read this mail over and over again. And I was very happy, still am, that I had given him a listening ear just a week before he left the world. And to me, that taught me a lesson, that we should live for others as much as we can. So that has stuck in my memory for a long time, because it taught me a lesson. So that's